Record this. I actually might say something intelligent, and then Robert would have to replay it again someday. Or I guess he could burn it. Jesse could lose it, you know. All right, good stuff. Appreciate it, Robert. Thank you. Okay, so let's talk about, write this down. It's real important that you write these three words down. Window of opportunity. Window of opportunity. Write it down and make sure those three words are in multiple places in your life. Put it in a 3x5 card if you have a pocket, you carry things in your pocket. Ladies, put it in your purse, 3x5 card. Put it maybe where your money is so that you can get to it, or the credit cards, kind of so you could be reminded. So many times in the past few years, we've been talking about this is a great market. This is the time to buy. This is the time to sell, yada, yada, yada. And I think that the clients are conditioned. And if we go to a client right now and they say, well, what's going on in the marketplace? Of course, you're going to say, I don't know. Do you want to buy or sell? Or do you want to buy an investment property, right? You're not going to tell them without asking that question. So that's first of all. Second of all, we're going to talk about a window of opportunity. Now, once you start talking, changing the vocabulary on the situation, it changes how the clients are viewing it and seeing it. Now, Robert and I have two different categories of clients. We have your clients that approach us and approach you. So we have to be thinking in their vernacular. And we have you who are getting the information in the marketplace just like everyone else. So your clients are hearing the interest rates are going up. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. They're hearing interest rates are going up. They're seeing interest rates are going up. So it kind of freaks them out. Are you getting that response from some of your clients? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. All right. So one issue is if they're afraid of buying or selling, then we get afraid of whether they're going to buy or sell, and that we're concerned that maybe we won't make money. They're concerned they might lose money, and we're concerned that we might not make money or maybe lose money too. All right, everybody on the same page with me right now?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So good. So what we have to do is we have to, I'm going to use the word my billionaire friend says, juxtapose. We have to juxtapose stuff. All right. So if you ever want to look up a $22 billion hedge fund, look up Canyon Partners. They were based out of Century City, and now they just moved to Dallas, Texas. Dallas, yes. Anyway, good group of people, great group of people, very smart. Anyway, so we have to rethink our thought process for us and for our clients, because if we get scared, is that going to transfer to our clients?
Nope.
It's not? Who said no?
Sandy.
Sandy, of course it's going to transfer to your clients. This is human nature. Human nature is if I'm afraid and it shows my fear, then you're going to be afraid. If I walk into the office and I'm depressed and I'm worried about the interest rates and I'm concerned about the marketplace and oh, woe is me, you know, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So you don't think that's going to rub off on some of you? Of course it does. Okay. And then that rubs off on some of your clients. So you have to have a positive attitude going into this And so, Neil, how do I get a positive attitude when they're talking about the Fed raising the interest rates, the Fed's fund rate 1% later today or tomorrow? You know, how do I get a positive attitude? And that's kind of what we're going to be talking about today. And I'm going to show you some things and some interesting statistics on InfoSparks. And everybody uses InfoSparks, right? Good. No. And Tran in San Jose. Are you part of CRMLS?
No. What is the the phone?
InfoSparks, I don't know. Write down INFOSPARKS. And just check and make sure your board doesn't have it. We have it in the CRMLS here in Southern California. And we've been using it for 8 or 9 years. It's a free addition to our system. That's very cool. I'll show you what's going on here in a minute. But
Thank you.
most real estate agents don't know it's out there because most of their brokers and managers have no clue it's out there or how to use it. Okay, so I'm just gonna run into this first, and I'm gonna show you some interesting things about what I think the window of opportunity is and how to help yourself.
Yes, Simon.
Okay, can you guys see the screen?
Yes.
Hey, Neil, can you make me co-host real quick?
Oh, sorry, Robert, I thought I did.
Hello?
There you go. You are it.
I have to use my professional muter ability.
I think that needs to go on the resume for you.
It's on there. Yeah, I think I'm gonna put it on there.
Got it. All right, everybody see what's going on here? So I'm gonna get rid of this one now. So what do we, whoops. So we see in Glendora, in the month of, let's see, we had Glendora had 53 listings taken. You guys see that? For last month. That was the month of August. This is 30 days behind. In Chino Hills, there were 63. And Corona, I'm going to pull Corona out of there and I'm going to put in Covina. Covina had 65. And give me another city.
Corona.
How about West Covina? Okay, those are cities we do business in the San Gabriel Valley. So how many listings do you need in any given month to have a good month? Not a great month, but a good month. I would say most of the people on this call are somewhere between 1 and 3. Is that a fair number, you guys? If you
Yes.
took 1 to 3 listings a month, you'd have okay, four for Monica. I understand that, but 1 to 3. So here's my question. If you're working Covina, West Covina, Chino Hills, Glendora, which is, if you're working those areas, you are working those areas. If you're working that general area, you're working those areas. If there was 200, that's 200 listings in those 4 cities, because I can only pull up 4 cities at a time. That's 200 listings. Could you have gotten 1 or 2 out of those 2 areas? Is that possible?
Yes.
Okay. So here's the thing. You have to realize, number one, that there's business out there and that with skills, you can get some of it. So that's point number 1. There's business out there. We have to prove it to ourselves, and we can prove it to ourselves using a tool like InfoSparks. But in fact, that business is out there. Now, it goes up and down, as you can see. Some months are better than others, but it does go up and it does go down. Does everybody see in Chino Hills, they have a good month? That was 2017. Then they had another good month in 2018. They had an okay month in 2019, but still pretty good. Things were a little bit down, but still a good month in 2020, a really good month in 21, and they've fallen off here in 22. So we've got, but we have a cycle. Everybody see what I'm talking about? It goes up, it comes down, it goes up, it comes down. You can read the cycle. And by the way, you can share this cycle with your clients. When a client gets worried about the business falling off the cliff this month, you can say, yeah, business falls off in any given month. And then it comes back, and then it falls off, and then it comes back. So does this help any of you with, there's business out there? Hello?
Yes.
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 Good. Okay. So, and you can look at this at any time, and you can show your clients at any time. Now, here's kind of an interesting piece of information. Now, these are the cities we do business in the San Gabriel Valley. These are steady numbers over the years. But there are a few cities we do business in, and I'm gonna, like in Long Beach. Anybody know the numbers in Long Beach? Last month, 255 listings taken. Irvine. $272 listings taken. Are you guys seeing a trend here?
Hmm.
Corona. 191 listings taken. So we have an office in Corona. We have an office in Long Beach. We have an office in Irvine. And their numbers are much higher. So now in those three cities, you have 250, you have 300, 400, you have what, 500? More than 500. You have 500 in Long Beach and Irvine. You have almost 700 listings taken. How many do you need to take to have a good month? Monica, interesting, right? Monica, Corona, there's 191, and you need 4, which is 4 times as many listings as they take in West Covina. Is that interesting or not?
Yes.
Does our license cover more than the cities we work?
Absolutely.
At least in the state of California. Now, I'm not suggesting that you go miles and miles and miles away, but if you're working, let's use this Duarte, Duarte. Oops. Duarte, nice city in the San Gabriel Valley. Duarte had 20 listings taken last month. So should you work Duarte or maybe attack Long Beach a couple of times? Now remember, we have a physical office there. Get it? So you could either A, call from the office, or B, just call in Long Beach from wherever you are and say that you're working Long Beach and we have an office in Long Beach. Do you guys understand what I'm talking about here? This is creating an opportunity, and I'm showing you where some of the opportunities are by looking at the graphs. Questions on anything I covered so far? I hear all the time about agents wanting to work the high end. Newport Beach, 53 closed transactions. Okay, so that's the same amount of business that we have in the other cities that we do business with. How about Yorba Linda? $78. Oh, wow. 78 closed transactions in Yorba Linda, and Newport Beach has 53. Gee, which one should I work, Mom? Give me another city, you guys.
Monrovia,
What do you think that is?
29,
How much?
29.
You know, it's a real bitch when you can't spell.
That's
29. So Duarte and Monrovia.
Okay. Mhm.
And let's go to Temple City. $18. Oh, hell, let's throw in New Arcadia.
18.
No, 56.
Arcadia.
Arcadia City.
Throw in Whittier.
Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm looking at condominiums. I think yours is what, single family or just all properties?
My mind's everything, all properties. Now, not investment. There's no investment property in here. Interesting, 56. That's a big number. So that's an interesting question right now. So let's look at condominiums. So in Monrovia, only 5, Irvine, 18, 2 in Temple City, and 18 in Arcadia. Good number in Arcadia.
Mhm.
And in Arcadia, there's 3 townhouses. So mostly they call them condominiums. You guys see how you can slice and dice this? And if you know this, you feel better about making calls in those cities. Somebody asked for Whittier.
How do you get 18 and I got 56?
You're not, I went to condos.
Yeah, I was on. Let me go back.
Now 56
Okay.
is all property.
All properties. There we go. Okay, perfect.
Whittier, all properties is 119. Oh, there's my trifecta. Whittier, Corona, Long Beach, and Irvine. How's that for fun?
What do you mean trifecta?
I don't know. I was thinking I was betting on horses.
Forget it, he's rolling.
What did you say? I'm drooling?
Forget it, he's rolling.
Oh,
Rolling. Okay.
3 cities in triple digits.
but we
3
actually
cities
have
in
4.
triple digits. Oh, okay.
But we actually have 4. What do they call a fourfecta? Okay. You guys with me?
Yes, sir.
Lost you
On
at
any
drooling.
day that you think there's no business out there, or you want to find where there's a little bit more business, here's the opportunity. And we have 3 offices in some strong areas. So pretty cool. All right. Questions on what I covered so far. That's the listings taken. Now, if you get a listing with a, well, let's look at another number here. Pending sales. How many listings did we take in Irvine, you guys? 272, right?
Yep.
How many went pending that month? 178. So what's that? 3/4 of all the listings taken, sold? Pretty cool, right?
Right.
You
Yes,
guys with me?
yes.
Okay, so let's take Whittier and ask the same question. Whittier had 119 and Whittier had 62. So it's exactly 50%. Whittier took 62 and took 119 and sold 62. So their number is a little bit less, but still strong. Got it?
Neil,
Got
what
it.
about Long Beach? If I may ask.
I had Long Beach up there earlier. Hold on, I'll put it back up. LONG. 241, Abigail.
Hmm.
And, excuse me, sorry. 255 listings taken. Look at this one. Pending, 241.
Wow, that's pretty good.
And we have an office there. So, I mean, it's like a no-brainer.
Yes.
Where do you work? Long Beach.
That's what Neil, that's what I like about doing the expireds. Like, if I call Torrance, then I'm at Century 21 Masters in Long Beach. If I call Covina, then I'm at Century 21 Masters in Covina, or Pasadena, or Arcadia, or Irvine. It opens up the door to be local in quite a few places.
Window of opportunity. Window of opportunity is what we're talking about. So everybody you talk to, are you aware of the window of opportunity that the interest rate rise has given you as a buyer or seller, Mr. and Mrs. Jones? How do you like that one? Are you familiar with the window of opportunity that the rise in interest rate has given you as a buyer and seller in this marketplace? What are you, crazy? What are you talking about, window of opportunity? I mean, the interest rates went up. It's cost me another $1,000 a month to buy a house. That's true. However, you get to buy a house because 2 years ago, you've been trying to buy a house for 3 years. You couldn't buy one because you kept getting outbid, right? Right. That's not going to happen now. Outbidding, in most cases, gone. Overbidding, in most cases, gone. Not all cases. Okay. Number one, a seller had the biggest single issue that we had out on the streets was, I'd sell my house in a minute at those prices. Are you kidding? But I can't find a place to buy. There's nothing available for me to buy. Right now, the availability of homes, let me show you something in the cities we're talking about. Okay, the floor on availability was approximately December of 21. You guys with me? You see that?
Yes.
That's the
Yes.
floor. The height of properties is July, or right around July. Okay, so if the floor in Long Beach was 301, now there's 492. So that's almost 200 properties more. Am I right? 200? 391. No, 391 and 492. It's 100 properties more. So 100 properties more is 25%. You guys with me?
Yes.
So there's 100 properties more that a seller could take advantage of in Long Beach. Irvine's about the same thing.
Yo, can you repeat that The question one more time. Are you familiar with the window of opportunity?
That this has been recorded. So let's let Tyrone.
Oh,
I don't
I
want
see.
to do anything to it. We
got it.
recorded this.
Okay, all right,
So
thank you.
we'll pull it out. Robert was probably typing it. He's a very fast typing guy. You guys with me? So you can see over here on the right, in Whittier, there's 30% more property today than there was this time last year. Irvine, there's 25% more property. Temple City, there's 7% less. And interesting enough, in Long Beach, there's 8% less. How about, okay, so you guys with me on this? That's the active listings.
Yes.
All right. Now, let's look at the prices. So this is an interesting thing. Irvine's prices are still 15% above same time last year. Long Beach is 7.7, I guess that's 7% below last year. Temple City, 22%, Whittier's up 7%. But here's the deal. Somebody says to you, well, I could have got $948,000 in Long Beach in April. And now I can only get 837. I'm going to get $100,000 less. That's true. Fool. When you bought the house in January of 21, you'd have paid 684. Now you can still get 837, which is better. You still can get more money. Get it? Okay, you didn't get the peak. Almost no one gets the peak ever. But if you need to sell, sell. You don't need to sell, stop complaining about it. You guys see what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Show them the money. This is the money. This is where you're at. Everybody missed the peak except for Irvine. And even they're down slightly. Their peak was 1.6 million, and now it's 1.5. Should we cry for them? Robert says yes. Okay. Is this stuff helping anybody?
Yes.
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 Good,
Yes.
Yes.
Good. We're trying. We're trying. But you got to understand how to play with it. And I took 10 minutes before we got on the call, and I just ran through the numbers of the properties real fast. It doesn't take long. And I kind of knew what to expect when I came back to talk to you, 10 minutes later. So that's kind of all you need to do with your clients. So we have the sales price. Now, here's an interesting thing. And well, no, we don't need to go there. Days on market. Let's go here. So let me get rid of, which is the green one? Temple City. Okay. See what's going on down here with all the rising? Starting in about February or so in some cities and moving to May. So February to May, the inventory started rising, and that's causing the properties to stay on the market longer. But from here in Long Beach, it was 23 days that properties were staying on the market. And now in Long Beach, it's 24 days. Big deal. It's rising, but it's only been 1 day difference. Okay. So just because some things are moving that way, look back here in December of 18, it was 39 days. Properties were on the market in Long Beach, 39 days, hair over a month. Now the properties are on the market less than a month on average. Okay, on that, I don't have a lot more. Anybody have questions on what we covered with that? Nope, good. Okay, so now I need to close that. All right. So what did you learn there?
A lot of opportunities.
A lot of opportunities, good. What else?
That we need to educate our clients to be able to show them there is still value in the market, even if there is a seller. And because a lot of fear is going to come out as people start to, for buyers, as they start to see they can't afford that price they used to afford because their monthly payment just went up.
Correct.
But I think educating the sellers is key here.
Well, actually, Adriana, you're partially right. The real key is to educate ourselves. We really have to own these statistics so that we can share them. That makes sense?
Yes.
Right.
So for my buyers that are actually like just text me right now like 3 times, very fearful, and now they don't know what they want to do because their monthly payment just went up, like you said, about $1,000. So do you think the prices across the board for the listings will now change into a buyer's market, or we're not there yet?
No, we're far away.
Okay.
We're far away. But here's the key, Andrea. The absolute key is to understand and know the motivation of the client. I understand that the client doesn't want to pay $1,000 more. And in some cases, they can't pay $1,000 more. I get that. But remember, there are tools like what we call 2-1 buy downs, where you can buy the interest rate down 2% the first year and 1% the second year. And maybe that's all your buyer needs to get into the property to help them. Well, this is what I'm referring to as a window of opportunity. 6 or 8 months ago, you would never get the seller to consider paying any closing costs or buy downs for our clients. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. They wouldn't consider it. They would never consider selling for less at all. And yet we're closing deals all over the place for less. They would never consider a contingency. That's another window of opportunity. Now, that's a window of opportunity for buyer and seller, because in most of our cases, our buyers have to sell something to buy something. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, almost in every case. So here's one of the things I do believe in. I believe that in most of our cases, whatever we have to discount reasonably on the listing side, now reasonably, because just because the guy wants $7 million doesn't mean he's going to get it. Okay, so we have to be within reason. But I believe that our sellers are going to be able to recoup most of, if not all of, the money they had to give up to sell on their purchase. Maybe some buy down points, maybe some commission things, maybe some upgrades in the piece of property, who knows? But so if they give up 20 or 30,000 over here, they're going to pick up 20 or $30,000 on the buy. You guys understand that?
Yes.
Okay. So that's gonna help. It's gonna help. It's not gonna take care of the monthly payment per se, but it is going to help. Understand that motivation is the key, and the only people that are going to buy and sell are half to buys and half to sells. Everybody else is going to sit on the sidelines. So if they're not motivated, don't let them suck your time and energy and your money for driving them around. Okay? Let's fire some clients today.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, let's fire some clients and then pick up some other clients and put those people in our car and sell them something. Show them the graphs, get buyer contracts. Robert, we should do a class on that again.
Okie dokie.
Maybe Melinda would do that for us. I think she has a rule in her.
She was the one who did it last time. So
Yeah. She has a rule in her personal business and in her team's business that nobody gets in a car or shown any property unless they sign a buyer broker agreement. Am I correct?
that is correct. Yes.
Right. So, I'm not advocating that per se. I'm just saying that it can be done. She's selling houses at a really high level. Okay, questions on anything we covered so far? So talk to me, what do you see as windows of opportunities that I've talked about for sellers? Share with the group. What do you see? What's out there? Window of opportunity for a seller that you're going to talk to.
This could be the best time for them to net as much money as they can get if the interest rates keep rising up.
Because what you're saying, if I understand it correctly, is that as interest rates rise, the prices will continue to soften in most situations, correct?
Right. And buyers will be able to afford less.
And they'll be able to buy less, but maybe the house that they want to buy is worth less too.
Right.
Depends on what they want to buy and where they want to go. What was interesting, what we found when we did the info sparks a few minutes ago, that some areas were selling as many homes each month as they listed. Remember that? Remember that calculation? But other cities were selling far less. There was one city that was at 50%. What was that, Whittier?
Whittier.
I wonder if you pull up a graph of Whittier or just a page, if most of the arrows on the prices are pointing down. Because they moved their price point down a little bit. I don't know. I'm just throwing out some ideas. So if I was showing property to somebody and they had a house in, let's say, Long Beach or maybe Arcadia, because maybe Arcadia, I didn't look at Arcadia's numbers, and I might show them property in Whittier because they might get a slightly better deal in Whittier, 4-bedroom for 4-bedroom, et cetera, et cetera. Now, I understand school districts weigh into that and where people live and where they work, but maybe that can help you. Got it? So inventory is higher. In most cases, it's 3 or 4 times higher. Number of sales are down, causes the prices to be soft.
What about average days on market, Neil?
Average days on market, it could sell faster. I don't know that that's a window of opportunity per se, except that they may want to sell it. But what about this question?
The replacement property.
Yeah, what I was going to say, do they think interest rates are going up or down? And then you'd be quiet. Do they think interest rates are going up or down? Let me ask you guys a question. put in the chat box, if you think they're going up, put a 1 in, and if you think they might be going down, put a 2 in. Do that in the chat box real fast. So 1 is up, 2 is down, right? Boy, you're the Lone Ranger, Armand.
I think they hit 6% a month or so ago, and they went right back down to about 5.5 to 5.25. This last week, they hit 6% again. What do you think they're going to do in a week or two? I think they're going to go right back down to 5.5, 5.25.
They just had a meeting with the Federal Reserve this morning that just raised it 0.75% and said they will continue to raise it. They raised it 3 times this year and said they will continue to raise it until inflation drops to 2%.
And that's what they said a few weeks ago when they raised it the last time.
Look, neither
True.
one of us, none of us know for sure. We have our opinions, I get it. But I only wanted to do this to show you that most people think interest rates are going up. I think at this juncture, okay, that's what they think. So if you say that to a client, to a buyer, I think interest rates are going up. Well, do you have to buy? I have to buy. I got to get a bigger house. I got to get a better school district. Remember, motivation. So if that's the motivation, then you keep pushing on the pain point and say, well, look, it's going to be more expensive next year, interest rate wise, than it is this year. So why don't you pull in the trigger?
And I think, Neil, you hit the nail on the head when you said, and this being that I love hearing myself talk, the hardest the thing in the world for me to do was to say, like you said right now, and then just be quiet.
Yeah.
And let it feel uncomfortable for 5-10 seconds.
Yep, that's right. Fred, what are you counting to 10?
No, sometimes silence is the best teacher for us all.
That is true. That is true. But Armin and I and Robert have a problem with the silence department.
It's true.
True. Okay, so questions on what we've covered today?
Neil, just to add on to that, I've had a similar conversation with agents. One of the numbers that some agents care about and some don't in terms of what you're talking about, window of opportunity, is when you look at the commission dollars. Because you're right, how many deals do you need? 1 to 3 or something like that a month. If you go to closed volume in the MLS last month, it was $38 billion. If you multiply that by, say, 5%, which would be, say, an average commission, that means real estate agents just in our MLS made $1.9 billion last month. So if you're, it might seem like the deals are down, the listings are down, but $1.9 billion in checks were handed out. So there's certainly money in our marketplace to be made, even in a slower market per se.
Totally, absolutely. And we'll end, this is a perfect ending because I started by showing you what was possible out in the marketplace. I did in numbers of listings taken, and we know most of the listings that you're going to take sell. So therefore, and Robert put it into money. So there's plenty of money opportunity out there, and they're closing. They're really closing. So take advantage of the marketplace, sharpen your skills, get better at what you're doing, talk to more people. If you're not talking to 200 people a week, you're failing. You're just going to not get what you want and need. The agents that are getting to 200 a week, 200 contacts a week, are hitting their numbers. Things are happening. Listings are being taken. Opportunities are being done. So, and is it getting tougher? Absolutely. Which is this for me is the greatest time in the world. This for me, for you, is fabulous, fabulous opportunity. a fabulous window of opportunity for each of you. This is where agents and companies grow. From the last recession in 2008 until about 2012, I kept telling my wife, we are going to roar out of this recession, roar out of the recession. And she kept looking at me like I was nuts. And I said, honey, we're roaring out of this thing because we're working on scripts, we're working on dialogues, we're working on helping our agents do another deal. We're focused on this. We went from a $10 million GCI company in 2008, and we roared out of it, plateauing at a $30 million company, 3 times the size of our organization. Each of you can do that and more. With me, without me. With me, without me. With me, without me.
Let's join Neil.
Very true, Ray. You were around, you saw it.
He's a man. I mean,
Okay,
great
All right.
leader.
thank you. So Ray,
Oh my God, I shouldn't have said that.
you just opened it right up. So when do you plan on moving?
I'm weighing my options. Yes, indeed. And for anyone here who's not with Neil Schwartz, you're making a big mistake. He's a great leader. I mean, he is. I cannot say
Robert,
less.
thank-
Look, Fred is talking. Yeah, indeed a great leader. That's all I can say.
Fred is talking?
He was.
No, he's on the phone. Robert, do me a favor, send a contract over to Ray right away, please. All right, you're terrific, Ray. Love you. Okay, so
Thank you. So you're amazing. Amazing company.
I don't have anything else. I hope you guys are getting this. This is a window of opportunity and you have to take advantage of it, and you're going to do phenomenally well.
Neil,
talked
how do
about
you
this.
phrase? Can you rephrase the statement that you said? The way you presented it. It probably came from your heart, so you might not remember it. You said about this is a window opportunity for. Can I share with you why this is? You said, are you familiar how the rising rates provides a window opportunity for you?
Yeah, I did. That was the script, you mean?
Yeah.
Ray,
I don't
we
know.
were, yeah, it was off the cuff, but we recorded this whole thing. We'll have actually, we put together, Robert had crafted 2 or 3 of our regular scripts to include window of opportunity into it. We'll start practicing those tomorrow. Tomorrow? Yes. And then we won't have the one from today, from this and probably well, wherever Jesse is, he'll put it together and get it done for tomorrow or Friday. We'll have that in the script. Okay.
Can I have a question?
Absolutely.
You say that we need to call like 200 contacts per week. So in my office, they really advocate us to actually do the social media, contact people that we know instead of going to cold market. So I'm a little bit confused. I don't know how to actually balance my time between, because networking, social media suck up a lot of time versus on the phone. So now I don't know which direction I should go.
Well, it's a good question. Is it on? Ann or on?
Yeah, you can call me Ann.
Ann, okay,
Yeah.
thank you. That's a great question. And the way we look at it, and we do use social media as part of the things that we do, some of the people, some of the time. The core of what we work is our past client and sphere base, which I think that's what you're doing, okay? So how big is your past client and sphere base, more or less?
Actually, I'm new in the real estate business. So it's about 150. Those are people knowing me and knowing me for a long time and by first name.
Okay.
It's just I'm not really tap into that one. Yes, I've been training, doing cold call, farming, door knocking, and calling the expired. That's the majority of my time spending on lead gen. I'm just lately been bombarded with you need to go back to take care or talk to your people. So I'm I don't know.
Well, that, and in fact, that is a true statement. But it kind of works this way. We've proven that if you snail mail monthly, email weekly, and call the client every other month, and you provide some kind of value along that way, that you'll be able to do 10% of that business directly or indirectly. So your 150 should give you 15 transactions in a 12-month period. Okay? Now, we teach you to prospect either expireds, for sale by owners, just listed, just sold, et cetera, social media, and add 8 people a month to that, so that the 8 people times 12 is 96. So let's just call it 100. So the second year, you'll have 250 people in your system, and you should be able to, you're going to email weekly, snail mail monthly, and call every other month. You should be able to do 25 deals out of that in your second year. Okay. Now you can get more aggressive and you can get less aggressive, but that's kind of the way this works out. So are you touching your past client and sphere weekly by some kind of email or Instagram posting or Facebook posting?
No, I'm actually only post the personal, and occasionally I only do like 10-20% in the real estate, showing them about the open house. I plan to do more. But what I found is I try to get a CRM with Brian Buffini, with all the flyer that adds value, and then start go to the church and branding my at the bottom. Hopefully that people know me, that I wear the hat of realtor, not just a regular one at church.
Are you a rich person? You have a lot of money?
No.
Okay. It's going to take a lot of money to brand yourself. Okay. That branding is crazy name, is a crazy thing. If you will email weekly, now you can email socially. You don't have to email real estate stuff. Email weekly, snail mail monthly, and call them every other week. I promise you, you will be branded. Okay. But those are the activities you have to do. And then add 8 people to that database every single month. I promise you, you will make money. Okay.
So what CRM do you recommend to do?
The one you use. I mean,
right
I
now I just use.
I don't mean to be flippant. I really don't. But
Okay.
everybody has their CRM of choice. I don't choose CRMs. I have one I'm using. I've been using it for 4 years. I love it to death. All of a sudden today, I woke up in the morning and said, hey, maybe I ought to look at something else. So it's just the one you use. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
All right. All right. Thank you. Great question. Really, really good. The hardest thing to do is to do what I suggested you do on a regular basis over time. And we all have to remember, and we're shifting gears here pretty quickly. I think in first week or 2 of October, we're going into run through the finish line, which is the concept is Christmas is coming, whether you're ready for it or not. Laura had that written in the chat box. So she's been around me a long, long time. I've been using that and drive people nuts with Christmas is coming. And now we're going to drive you nuts, you, the agents, with a reminder that there's still time to do another deal, still time to make another listing, still time to talk to another client. There truly is time. And real estate agents tend to back off right now. and see what's going to happen, we're going to talk more and more about it, is the number of deals does shrink normally at this time of year, but it's going to shrink at a little bit faster pace because of the economy and the interest rates. So what's going to happen is when that happens, real estate agents go, that's it. I can't do any more deals. I'm not going to. And the opportunity to do business raises dramatically for the agents that are working their tushes off during this last 3 or 4 months. Okay.
Neil, do you recommend to do a target mailing to those expire and cancel? Because I found in my market, I saw like 30 leads, and not like every time I can talk to the owner. So I'm saying, why waiting to get to the right one and just mail them my information or a letter about the
And can I
expired?
make a suggestion? If you're willing to mail, why don't you drive over and knock on the door the day it expires? I promise you, you'll win. Most real estate agents don't call. Some mail, most don't call. The ones that call once, maybe twice. Some of the better ones call 3 or 4 times. Almost no one drives to the door and knocks on the door. Those that do get business now. Okay, if you want to do anything, that's what I would do. Go knock on every single expired door in your core market.
So when you knock at the door, you just carry out a conversation as if you do prospecting, the script from Mike Ferry.
I'm sure you know, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, your home came up as an expired listing today. And I was curious, when do you plan on interviewing the right agent for the job of selling your home? I know that script.
Do you bring anything with you, like the plan of action or anything?
It's up to you. It's totally up to you. But if it stops you from going to the door because you don't have one prepared, that's a problem. So you just got to go. Take your card and go have a conversation. I promise you, just because you do that, people are going to do business with you.
Thank you for the nugget. I will let you know how to go.
Ann and I had a great conversation. Any of you can use the same information. Okay, I promise. It works. It won't only work for Ann. It could work for everyone on this call. All right. Good job, Ann. Good question. Who's